Hello, everybody. This is Jeremy with Fieldnotes, and today we're doing our real estate webinar just to teach you some little tricks and tips with our system. Hopefully, what I'm going to show you today is going to be something helpful. So let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, so we've got some people coming in. How you doing, David?
Good afternoon, Jeremy.
Good afternoon. Got Kim coming in as well. Everybody's piling in. So give it a second. How are you doing, David? Everything good where you are?
Doing good. How about yourself?
I cannot complain, that's for sure. Everybody is like, well, is it as sunny as it is in that picture? And I'm like, it's even more sunny. So
Oh my goodness.
yeah, I can't complain. That's a volcano picture, so it's all, jungle, and then that's like a lake that is around what is it, the volcano Poas. But man, it hasn't rained in God knows how many, I don't want to say years, but it's been like months. And I think I've seen rain in the past couple months, like what, twice, maybe?
Oh wow.
Yeah, so things are dry. Um, but can't complain still.
No.
Nice dry weather. All right. So I'm just letting a couple of people in. Glad to see everybody, Barb, Martin, Kim, and you too, David. So what I was thinking of showing is talking a little bit about creating like spheres or groups in which, oh, what's this up to? Give me a moment. All right. All right. So we're back in. So creating spheres. And then what I wanted to highlight is using filters, creating views. If you guys aren't using those, I'm not saying you're missing out, but I guess it's kind of difficult to try to think of the same filters that you were using to then think of those things that you circled a group. Oh, but if you don't save a view, well, then you have to go through all of that work to try to find them again. You may have conflicting numbers if you're not writing things down. So with that said, that's really what I wanted to talk today and show you guys and give you just a little bit of insight to maybe how I help people kind of support their views and support all of these kinds of tags and things like that. And so now for everybody, it can be a little bit different, right? Everybody knows they can go to edit field names and they can change this if they want. I wouldn't suggest that, right? Because these are linked to smart tags. So I would most likely leave these ones alone, even though you can, you know, if you don't want to put second email, you could put alternative email, kind of like alternative phone, or if you wanted to call this cell phone, those kind of categories or renaming is fine, but using it for a total different, like changing this to um, company profile or something like that, that's not going to work because this only takes numbers, phone numbers, 10 digits or any other um, accepted, quotes or dashes, things like that. So, but what I'm talking about here is some people have their spheres named differently. So here we've got group, here we've got categories. At the end of the day, these are the same things in the sense of what you can achieve with them. You can create many different group names, and then you can begin to use them, right? So um, just keep that in mind. You can really go to town on how many of these groups you want to create. I've seen people with, I don't want to say hundreds, but with a lot, right? So um, some things that I could help you with is, so like cold leads. Let's say you want cold leads to be either at the top of the list or you want to group them together. You can do things such as putting a star, and everything with a star will then be grouped together, right? So let's say these are like your most common kind of spheres, or the ones that you want to really kind of pay attention to. This is one way you can group them. You can also group them by doing, um, you could do like numbers, right? If you wanted to, you could do like one dash, and you'll see that um, will group them together. So let me just kind of show you what that kind of looks like. And then let's hit done and go back. So here we've got, because it's a special character, it goes above the numbers. And then it would go the special character, and then it goes by alphabetical. Here we've got 1, 2. So this is following the numbers. So if you wanted to keep something in order, or have kind of like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, group them together, these are ways that you could do that. So just wanted to show you maybe that little tip. A lot of people don't know that, and with not knowing it, sometimes it may force you to have to like scroll through a whole bunch of spheres and categories, in which you know you think of it once, you use it once, but let's say you forget about it and you don't continue to use it. So I could see how that could just, you know, um, get lost, right? So here it would float to the top, and it would go above these ones that are, looks like they're hard coded. So can't change these. So that's one thing I wanted to show you. And then the next thing is, so what I tell people is, if you are entering a new person and you think of a sphere that you would like to group them in, let me get Jim in. Um, if you'd like to get, if you'd like to, um, if you think of a sphere, you want to add it to this person, it may not apply to everybody. I suggest go quickly, create it, add it to the contact, because you're most likely going to get more people. And who knows, that sphere could work for many others. And so, what I would hate to see is that you don't think it's important, you don't create the sphere, you don't associate it, and then you forget about it. And then time goes on, and you're like, oh, I could have used that. And then now you have to like comb through all of your leads to kind of see, um, who it applies. And that's just busy work, right? So, there's nothing like thinking about them. I would also even say is going to having a good little, either create a list so that you have a list, like a little legend of the type of spheres, or even just put it to memory. Why put it to memory? Because you can quickly associate these things, and you can attach them to people. And if you have a good memory of what kind of groups, then it just makes things easier. So definitely utilizing these to create your little spheres of interest, right? So any questions on that, or any insight from anybody? Are you guys currently using any views for any special groups?
Yeah, I do. I use it all the time. It makes it real easy where you don't have to keep changing or saving another view. So yeah, categorizing
Yeah.
works really well.
What kind of groups are you using it for, David?
Mainly my different lead generations,
Mhm.
and then my VA, she has certain hot groups that she wants me to deal with. So with, just selecting them, I don't have to change a current view. It comes in real handy.
Okay, good, good, good. That's exactly a good reason. One I was thinking of is, let's go ahead and create one. I was thinking of newsletter. So if you guys create newsletter, right, and you send that out to all your, let's say, past clients, maybe some clients in your next 90 days, um, maybe your out of state clients, just to kind of let them know that you're continuing to do what you do and that you have obviously insight um, to the real estate situation. And so, beautiful thing to stay on top of mind is to create like a nice little newsletter. You can showcase your listings, you can showcase past deals sold of the last month so that they can kind of really see, wow, this lady's active. She's got current listings. She's also got, last month she did 6 sales. Those kinds of things I think would sway people into checking you guys out and, just paying a little bit more attention. And then if somebody needs something, right, either from their circle or from themselves, they've got recent emails from you showing that you're doing what you're doing. And so, real easy, they could email you or, give you a call, depending on how you have the newsletter, if you've got all your information there. So, newsletter was one. I think there was an agent who would throw like these little gatherings together, but it was like whiskey. There was like it was kind of like a something with the guys. And so I think it was called Whiskey Bros or something like that. But, if you have little gatherings of, if you like watching sports with specific people, or if you host a little sports party on the Sunday, either the Super Bowl or something like that, and you just want to have a list of the people that you would like to invite, could be past clients, could be vendors, could be people, of your sphere of influence, but you can create that tag, associate it to those people, and then you can filter by that, right? So so this is add the contact, edit names. Let me close this. And let's just think of giving some people some spheres so that we can then create. So real easy when it comes to applying spheres, essentially you can either come to your groups, you can see which ones you want. So let's give this guy cold leads. Let's add him. Now let's say you know of all of these are all cold leads. So I'm just randomly going through a couple. However, these are all cold leads. We can do a mass edit with this option up here. Sorry, I go a little bit too fast. Everybody tells me that. But mass edit, little pencil. And now we can go and look for the spheres, and we can give everybody this sphere. Options that you have when you do mass edit are selected only, meaning if you only want it to have uh, cold leads, then you would do this one. If you want to add what you've select to the list of things that he has already, then this would be the option. Or if you needed to remove, and what I use this removed selected a lot is with our own database of clients, we use our own CRM, and I have a couple of internal things that I need to kind of track. So to give an example is support calls or support issues, right? I'll highlight a sphere that is support related. And then at the end of the week, I run numbers and I kind of see how many people had support issues. Then when I'm done taking my numbers, I'll go ahead and remove those that are selected, right? And it's all that support stuff that I use and then it starts over next week. And then now I have a clean slate. And then as customers come through, I can go into their accounts and I can give that sphere if they have an issue, if we get an email and support, or if I get a phone call or something like that, right? So that's something that I use consistently, something that you guys might think of, if you need to track something, that's a good way of doing it. And so let's go ahead and add selected. So I just wanted to show you that. There's a couple with that kind of, there's a couple fields that have that option. So also another good thing when you are wanting to comb through your data, I really think it's helpful to really lean on to the columns to have these visible. So like if you want to look at relationship status, we were looking at group, if I'm not, yeah, we were looking at group. I think categories, but it's these things that you want to have showing. I'm not saying show all of them, right? Because then it's going to turn into a really long list. But if you're trying to go through your leads and to see, okay, who are cold leads, or what sphere is applied to what contacts, the best thing to do is to open up your columns, get them showing, and that, I do that when people come to me and say, well, Jeremy, I just added this individual, it's not showing up in my view, what am I doing wrong? So most cases, what I have found is they'll have either multiple spheres, either from different areas such as like groups and categories. Sometimes they'll go here and create it 1 month, and they'll apply it to a bunch, and then they come over here, forget about it. You know what I mean? Forget that they put it up here, and then they go ahead and put it here, and then now they've got two spheres. They're applying it to to different contacts, and now their view, because their view is only looking at one of those spheres, it's not showing the data correctly. So they kind of spin their wheels. So what I like to do is, oh, okay, that's the problem. Well, let's just open up these categories. Sometimes I'll just open up a wide view and just click a bunch of stuff so that I can just see what they've done. So with that said, um, that's why I like to use columns. So if I have an idea of where and what they're using, I'm going to show them. And then that way I have them visible. And now I can just see them here, and I can, if I need to, make sense of stuff, give them a relationship status based on these or anything like that, or just have a good idea of, what it is that I've applied and to what contacts. Leaning on the columns, having them visible is going to make you save a lot of time. Because if you don't, you're going to go, oh, Gary, what was Gary again? Oh, he was nothing. So why did I even have to open that? And then you have to come back to your list. Oh, Fernando. Nope, nothing with Fernando. You do have these little slide to the left, slide to the right, but I would still say it's better to get the bird's eye view. Being able to see this should help people. So now let's use filters, right? Because that's a little bit of, well, that's the start of creating your views as your filters, right? So um, we were using, what was it? Group and cold leads. So let's search cold leads and see what we get. Now we've got all of our cold leads, about 10 people, right? So all you would have to do to save this one view, and mind you, it's only looking at cold leads. So if somebody's not showing up in this view, it's because they don't have cold leads applied. So we've got 10 contacts so far. Let's go ahead and we'll just call it cold leads. And now you will have cold leads sitting up at the top. Now this is alphabetical, and you could, if you wanted to, use the asterisks, or if you wanted to do like A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, just to kind of, let's say it's more of your important kind of views, and it's the ones that you're always kind of using on a daily basis. I would do that. Another thing you can do is you can go over here and open up multiple windows of Fieldnotes, and you can have that view just sitting so that you don't have to go between views. Now, as long as you're not, you know, changing stuff here and then going over here and changing stuff here and them possibly being the same contacts, you would just have to remember, like, okay, I would have to refresh if I did something over here. Let me refresh this page. But if you're just doing a simple view, like you just want to have access to information, and these are your most common reports, I've been known to have a bunch of fields, a bunch of tabs open with different um, windows open, and sometimes it's not just related to views, but sometimes I'll have like action plan. So I'll be working in action plans and I'll be creating something, but I need to reference a customer and or a group of customers or, that kind of thing. Um, it's always great to know that you can open up multiple tabs. You can do things in um, action plans. If you also needed to open up another tab and be in templates, you could, right? And you could work in templates, save here. It's not going to affect your action plan, right? Two different things. So if you guys didn't know you could do that, that's something that you guys can definitely do. So now getting back to creating the views. Now the good thing about this, so if we are just looking at all of our contacts, and have cold leads. Let me see. Could be because I have a bunch of windows open. Oh, yeah, that's why. So let's go ahead and reset the filters. Now we've got all of our contacts. Let me see the columns of the group. Cold leads. So if I wanted to give these 3 people the sphere, we will now see that the beautiful thing about this view is it immediately puts them into the bucket or the view. Now you don't have to search or put anybody into it. It's just by adding a sphere. Now you've got 13 contacts to your cold leads. If this is something that, let's say you have like a VA like David, or if you make phone calls yourself, know that you could download. Now you can download visible columns. So if you want to have a short little list, so let's say you're going to send it to your VA or to your phone guy, you could go ahead and add specific columns just so that he has, first and last name, email, and phone number. No need to have all of the columns because then that's, maybe too much information for him. Or you can select, the ones that you want him to call today or to reach out and to follow up with. You could do that as well. And you can just select those 6, or you can select everybody. So you have a couple of options. So let's do the visible ones and let's just do this. So now you'll see that you have a file and you'll be able to, me and all my files. Let's see, where are they gonna pop up? Here it is. Let me just let my computer open all of these up. And finished. There we go. Let me just stop my screen real quick. Minimize all these tabs that just opened. Dang, how many did I have open? Go back. There we are. All right. So now let me go find the file, and here it is. Not only does it give you owner information, so if you got a team of people, you can kind of see who's the owner, dates that they were added on, last modified. You've got the group tag that you associated to them, and these are the people. So if you needed to email this to somebody, you could quickly get it over to them. But you have all of this based off of your views. So essentially, it's going to save you time when going through these groups. Plus, you can do, so much with your cold leads. You can send out bulk emails, so you can highlight, or you can highlight everybody. Now you've got all 13 of them. If you don't know about templates and why it's good to have all of your common emails that you're sending to people in your templates, is because it's going to save you time. You can send these out in bulk if you needed to, or you can select the ones that you need, and now you can go straight to your bulk messages. This one is not going to get We don't have an email for that one. And let me see. Oh, this gentleman doesn't have his email set up, so that's probably one. But it'll straight take you to where you can get to your templates. You can write a freehand email if you wanted to, but the whole thing is communicating, in bulk or at a few at a time. Try to use smart tags as much as possible. Try to have a good signature so that everything, if they do reply back to you, they can. If they need to call you, they'll have that information. And essentially, that's what I wanted to discuss today is views, and for people to not only know how you can create them, possibly troubleshoot them, right? Because if you have any doubts as to why aren't, a specific individual is added to the view, that is where let me go here, go all contacts, make sure we don't have, and if you see a little orange, little kind of, um, that is because a little check mark, a little orange, that means there's a filter applied. So if you see that and you don't have the correct amount of contacts, know that all you got to do is find the little checkbox because you'll see it just like that. And then you can hit reset. You go back to zero filters. Now you can basically open up your columns. Another thing that people use views for is the following. They don't like, well, what you see when you first come in is all contacts, and you'll see that this is what you get, right? Now, if you wanted to have a specific, like let's say for you, you do want to have your groups, you want to have your relationship status. Um, let's say you want to have your target prices. If you're using lead labels, you want to have your lead labels, categories, buyer and seller. Let's say you need this information, plus you want to know, I don't know. I met somebody yesterday was really good with zips, so zip codes was his thing. Um, or cities, right? Just so that you know where these people are. I think that's a good set. So let's say you want to keep these columns always visible. And this is more like the view that you would like to always have coming in. And it's kind of a pain in the butt having to go through the columns and having to save that. So if that's one of you, or if that's the case, um, go ahead and select the columns you want with all your contacts and save a view. What I would do is call it or put the asterisk, and then I would call it the same thing, all contacts. And now you know that this is your special view to your contacts, separate from the all contacts view that is here. And now it has all of your, this is the old, but now by you just coming in, now you have all of your columns. And so let me see what's we got some, where do I access previous? Oh, those are in our YouTube. And I don't have a playlist for them. I'm creating that one. So you'll see that, actually, I think we can pull that up real quick. I'll show you where we can find them. So this is the training playlist that I have that has a couple of videos that shows just simple instruction on doing things. But let's go to Fieldnotes. And for the moment, you'll see that they're kind of scattered here. Here's the April 3rd one. This one, I think, was maybe the first one. And so they're kind of right here up at the top. And let's see if we can. Yep, I think with this one, this will be I think we're on number 4 or 3. So, but yeah, you'll see them here. I'm going to make a playlist so that people can go straight to them. And then I will be sending some emails periodically with some of these just to share them with the people that don't have a chance to show up or see them. And so there you go. Thank you, Kim. But yeah, so this is where you can find them for the moment. yeah, and hopefully, they help you out and they can become a reference or a referral source to how to do some things. But in these webinars, I'm going to try to give you a little bit of work case scenarios, right? Instead of just simple instruction. This is how you do that. This is how you do this. I'm going to kind of try to tie it in for real estate agents, kind of from maybe things that I see with real estate agents, maybe struggles. Um, I'll try to showcase things weekly. Um, so hopefully, this turns out to be a nice resource for you guys. So this is a simple topic today. Don't want to take too much of everybody's time, but do want to highlight creating views. As David said, it makes things a lot easier when you can come in and you can have all your views open and you kind of know where your business is at. By just basically clicking on these people's emails, you'll have access to their emails. And so if you needed to send something, you could quickly do so. Plus, you'll have access to your templates. If you create an email, then you can go ahead and save it as a template, and then you can use it on others. So keep that in mind. But this really helps you with seeing your circles of interest, being able to communicate with them, staying on top of that, and it's all from views. And so does anybody have any questions with views or maybe any insight, maybe what you would be using views for that's a little bit different than from what I just showed you guys? Now's the time. This is the part of the, the webinar where you're welcome to discuss any thoughts, any, wish lists, anything like that. As to the CRM, if it's not pertaining this topic, then no worries. But if you guys have any insight to how you're using the system or things that you'd like to do, love to hear it. And if I can fix it or possibly get things corrected, I'd love to do that.
I have one comment, it's pretty something simple, but if I use a grouping or not necessarily a grouping, we figured that one out, but a reference, I can't remember where it's gauged, I should pull it up, where a referral status, I guess what it's called.
Referral source.
No, the status of it, I think, like if it's warm, cold, or
Oh, that's relationship status. Yeah.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, I didn't have mine open. If I have I have 20, 30 of them set to a certain status and I want to wipe out that status on all that group, is there a way to do that? I couldn't figure out how to do that other than naming it something else.
Okay. So let's just say, um, yes, let me show you how you could do that. So it was something that I just discussed. Let me go ahead and open this up and let's just grab a bunch of people randomly
Mhm.
and we'll do a mass edit and give them a referral source, sorry, or relationship status of hot. Now, the good thing about the referral source, right, is it's not a it's a multi-select, but they can only be one thing, right?
Yeah.
So you have many different options you can pick from, but they can all be one thing. So what I would do is first filter those people so that they show up. And so now we have the 11 people that I just recently gave that category to.
Hmm.
Then what I would do is select all and uncheck them. Actually, one second. This is the wrong spot. Edit and go to categories and then referral source. Um, mm,
Yeah, see, I couldn't figure, I named it something else, NA or something like that, but I didn't know how to blank them out.
I see. I see. So what you could do is you could change them from
Yeah.
hot to something else. So if these all were hot and they went to dead, you could go to dead. But what I'm seeing is that there isn't like the remove selected, so it goes
Yeah,
back
like you
to.
can on the group. Yeah, the group we figured
Well,
out, but yeah.
let me see if that will do it. If by putting it to selected, Does that, so let's do this. And let me see the ones that are not empty. Let me go ahead and make the relationship status visible, which it is. And they're still set up as hot. You know what? It's a good observation. I would have
Yeah,
definitely thought that it would have had something
yeah,
in which you could go and just set everybody back to normal. And so I'll definitely suggest that. Thanks, David.
yeah.
It's
Well, we just decided to do an N/A is what we're going to start doing.
right,
So,
right,
but
right.
yeah,
At
yeah,
the moment, you would have to give them something else and then put them into that.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I do think for what you're trying to do is maybe, get people off any of those selections.
yeah.
Then I think there needs to be a button in the mass edit similar to the
The grouping, yeah.
yeah, with like the categories in the group where it gives you the option to add, selected, remove. And so
Mhm.
I'll see how possible it is for the developers to help me with getting that. But I can't unmute, but I love this for breaking out my team and options of the individual and the whole team. Yep, absolutely. No,
Mhm.
these are, and so if you had a team, right?
Mhm.
Let's say you're a real estate agent and you do have a team, as Barb's talking about, you could have these like, so I think some of these reports, you see how they have the little group, and what it is that you've made this group available to your team. So if you have a team of people and you have, everybody's using Fieldnotes, you would have that benefit. Or just by going to your cold leads, um, having your report and being able to download it and sharing it to them, you know, you could also do that. Makes things easy as well. And so um, definitely it's all about being organized. If you're organized and you've got your views and you've got your things set up, you'll find yourself not spending hours looking and trying to find. And so definitely, for what I understand with agents, you guys are already up to your neck in alligators. So why, you know what I mean? Why just make your life that much more difficult? And so setting these little things up definitely will make your day a lot easier and make things just, a positive experience. And so, well, I definitely want to thank everybody. If there's not anything else that anybody can think of, I thank everybody for showing up. This is the most I've had. So, we're starting off great. We started off with a couple. I think it was one now, and then the next one was like three. Now we're up into seven. So I definitely like if you guys have any special wants, or would you like to see specific things, or if you would like to. There was one lady that says, she's not from real estate, but she's one of our customers. She says to somebody when I was in a demo, when I go to bed at night and I just think of stuff. And then I email Jeremy in the morning the things that I want, my wish list. And he somehow creates them or finds ways of doing it. And so for you guys, I offer the same kind of, thing. If you guys have a special need or would like something to work a specific way, or do I know, or what have I seen with other agents and what are other agents doing? Definitely send me a message. Let me know. I don't know if you guys know about our little chat window here at the bottom, but this is straight access to me. Um, you can put your message, it dings right on my browser, and then I can basically help you through the chat. Or you can, if you've got any of my emails, I have booking a booking schedule there where you can book some time with me, and then we can look at it privately, and especially for what you want to discuss. So definitely let me know what your wants and needs are for this coming year, so we can you know kind of help you guys and maybe push this program a little further than what we have. So I definitely thank everybody for showing up, and you guys have a great day. It was a pleasure.
You too. Thank you, Jeremy.
All righty, David, you have a great day. Bye now.
You
Bye bye. Ciao, everybody.